Hi, I'm David Patterson. Today I'm going to show you my family's favorite way of cooking steaks on the grill. The first thing we're going to do is fill up our grill with charcoal. And for steaks, you need a lot of charcoal because you want it to be super hot and you want it to be super close to the steaks themselves so you can get a nice sear on the outside. If you're going to spend a lot of money on a steak, you want to have a lot of charcoal and you don't want to skimp on it. And so I like to use hardwood lump charcoal because it burns hotter and sometimes faster. So that's what you need for a steak. Now it's time to season the steaks. So I have two very popular types of steaks here. I have a New York strip and then I have a ribeye. My personal favorite is the ribeye. Both of these came from a local butcher here in Dahlonega. I buy my steaks from a local butcher simply because of the quality. The quality at a butcher shop is far superior to most chain grocery stores. These steaks are perfect for a really hot grill because they have a lot of fat content, which is going to drip down into the coals and going to create smoke that's going to create a really nice crust on the outside, which is really what you're looking for. All right, so if you're gonna cook a steak, it needs to be thick and you need to have a good crust. The way to get a good crust is put a lot of salt on it. Put a lot of salt and a lot of pepper. It's gonna be really close to the flame and you're gonna get a really nice sear. And that's gonna give you a different texture than the inside of it. And so what that's gonna allow you to do is have this completely different experience than without having a crust. This is a ribeye and this is a New York strip. We're gonna season them the same way. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is put a little Worcestershire on our steaks, and that's gonna allow the salt and pepper to bind because we're gonna put a lot of salt and pepper on here. Remember that a lot of it's gonna fall off on the grill, and so you're gonna feel like you're over salting them, but you really can't because these steaks are so large. We've got these steaks seasoned, now it's time to put them on the grill.
You are the steak god. You are the steak god.
So now we got the steaks on the grill. And so you're gonna wanna let them sit there for a while and get that good sear. And so they need to be in there sizzling for a while before you even think about messing with them. I think that, for a lot of people, steaks mean, families coming together. I think a lot of people think of it as sort of a special occasion type thing. And so if you're gonna have all of this pressure riding on you to cook a good steak, you need to sort of think about what you're doing rather than just sort of haphazardly putting it together. So one of the most important things that you can do with a steak is rest it properly. You don't wanna cut it right when you pull it off the grill because then all the juices are gonna run out and you're gonna end up with something that's drier than you want it to be. So if you have a grill like ours, it was up to 500 or 600 degrees, it's only gonna be a couple of minutes per side. The thing you don't wanna do is leave them on too long and overcook them. And so if you pull them off a little bit early, you always have the opportunity to put them back on. But if you have an overcooked steak, you've basically just ruined what you were trying to do. The most reliable way, again, is to take an instant read thermometer and temp them. And so around 125 to 130, it's gonna carry over cook to a medium rare that you probably like. So whenever I'm cooking anything, I like to bring in something that's been important to my family for a while. And so it reminds me of my family, and I'm sure that everybody at home has some sort of thing. Maybe it's a set of tongs or a spoon that your parents had or your grandparents had. But I like to try to use them as much as possible because it reminds me of those good times. I like to rest it in a Tupperware container that my mom gave me a long time ago. And so I don't use it just for steaks, I use it for chicken, pork, anything that I'm grilling and let it rest in there because it seals up really nice. Plus it reminds me of my mother and it reminds me of all the good times and steaks that we've had together. All right, so on the strip steak, you can see that, it's thinner than the ribeye that we have here. But this is sort of what you're looking for, that pink with a nice salty crust on the outside. And so that's gonna give you the difference in texture that you're looking for. That's really good. For me, I'm just a ribeye kind of guy. Ribeyes are one of the more interesting cuts of meat because you have this cap here that is different in texture than this. And so this cap has a lot more fat within the muscle fibers. And so it's gonna be super tender, and it's also gonna be pretty fatty, which is what I like. And so typically what I do is cut it off and then cut up larger pieces to where you or your guests can get, you know, different textures, different flavors. That's why I really like a ribeye, because it's like having multiple steaks in one. That might be one of the best pieces of steak I've ever had.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's good.
Yeah, it just melts, huh?
Oh.
That's so good. So, so good.